What's up, everybody, and welcome back to All Sports Media TV. I am your host, KJ the Great, and we about to talk about the main event going down this Saturday, man. And here are my final predictions. First things first, I want to say, I hope and pray everything is great your way. Now, let's talk about the fighters. WBC light heavyweight champion, 2-division champion, undefeated champion, David the Monster Benavidez, who is 30 wins, no losses, no draws, 24 wins by way of knockout, will be taking on light heavyweight contender, two-time title challenger, that being Anthony Yarde, who is 27 wins, 3 losses, no draws. Twice in his career he was stopped, but we're going to get in depth with this. Okay, so Anthony Yarde, what else can you say about him, man? He fought his way back into this position. Definitely, I believe, one of the top contenders. He's he's a good fighter, man. My problem that I have always had with Anthony Yarde is that he can win a lot of rounds. He can start off strong, but it's always somewhere around the middle rounds to those, like from the 5th in the 10th round, he just seems to slow down for some reason. Now, earlier in his career, he took on Sergey Kovalev. He was stopped in the 11th round. In that fight, he put up a really good fight, but Kovalev was Kovalev a little bit at that point, you know. He was a little, I don't want to say he was still the crusher Kovalev, but he was still that dude at that weight. But he slowed down in that fight. And then you go forward, he won some fights after that. Go forward to his fight with Artur Beterbiev. I mean, he looked like he was finna beat Artur Beterbiev. Let's be clear. Initially I thought Beterbiev would come in and do what he did at the end throughout the whole fight. But Anthony Yarde was laying some leather on Artur Beterbiev, and he was up on the judges' scorecards. It was a 9th round stoppage, and I believe he was up 6-3 or 5-4 up until that point. So he has the ability to win rounds, good angles, very powerful, explosive. He has a lot of the tools to win, but can he control the gas tank? That's the major thing, because as the rounds go on, he tends to slow down. Now let's talk about the opponent, the champion, the monstro, David Benavidez. My problem with David Benavidez sometimes is that he gets a little overconfident coming in, gets caught sometimes. He throws these awkward punches when he has an opponent going backwards, and he'll kind of throw a punch on one foot. He seems like he's off balance. He's done it a lot. But you know, at 168, he was dominant. He was still trying to get that Canelo fight. His last knockout was against Demetrius Andrew. He stopped him in the 6th round, and I mean, he pretty much dominated that entire fight. Don't get me wrong, Demetrius Andrew flashed some skill, but he was just too much for him. And then the fight with Caleb Plant, from the 4th round on, he dominated that fight. He knew he wouldn't get the Canelo fight, so he moved up to light heavyweight. He took on Alexander Vostok, and he won a unanimous decision. He claimed after the fight he did have some hand injuries going into that fight. He said there's no excuse. He still wanted to go out and dominate and show that he can still win under any circumstance, which he did. Then he had the fight with David Morrell. That fight was exciting, but the build up, everything was exciting, but you can see this kind of the same thing with Caleb Plant, is that as the rounds went on and the monster just being on top of you all the rounds, he kind of warmed down and he put a beating on him. and showed that it really is levels to this sport. You know, when you got a guy like David Benavidez, who's been sparring world champions since he was 14, 15 years old, he knows a lot of tricks and how to do certain things, and his experience and his skills level is beyond what, you know, David Morrell possessed at that point. I mean, you could see every bit of his skills flashing. He didn't get the knockout. He almost got dropped early in that fight too. When I was talking about, he comes in with his hands down. David Morrell caught him. I think it was the third or fourth round coming in, but he didn't go down. And that's where I was like, oh, he didn't go down. This dude is still coming through in hands. You better watch it. So then we talk about this fight. In the things that I noticed with David Benavidez is he kind of starts a little slow sometimes, but as the rounds go on, he gets stronger and his volume just picks up. His power, it stays consistent. And I think that's going to be the difference with this Anthony Yarde fight. I think it's going to be a good fight early on. I think somebody might even get dropped, but as the rounds go on, I do believe and I do see David Benavidez possibly getting a stoppage somewhere between the 10th or the 11th round, because I think Anthony Yarde has grown mentally to know that he needs to conserve a little bit and pick it up, you know, at certain times in the later rounds, which for David Benavidez, that will be a good challenge for him also to stay focused coming in so he doesn't get caught. But ultimately, I think he's going to wear him down bit by bit. I think by the 8th round, you'll start to see a little bit of the breakdown. And I think going into about the 9th or 10th round, I think that's where David Benavidez might get the stoppage or the corner stoppage and retain his title. Definitely, I want to see a great fight. I know we all do. I like Anthony Yarde, but the monster is on a different mission. And yeah, that's my pick. I got David Benavidez stopping Anthony Yarde somewhere around the 10th round. Let me know what you guys think about that. Peace.